MakingStarWars.net.
It's time. It is
all about Obi-Wan. It's all about Obi-Wan.
Making Star Wars Celebration. You have to sad piano it.
All about, but really about Reva.
Yeah. Okay. Change the background. There we go. So so today we're going to get into the spoilers for Obi-Wan Kenobi. And before we start to ramp up towards what I have been hearing about this old ending here, want to just give a little disclaimer that there's going to be spoilers, big spoilers, some of the biggest ones that we're going to get, I think, some of the heaviest ones, and a little bit about my methodology. Sorry to be boring,
some
but
jumbo jack size spoilers today.
Jumbo jack size
hot
spoilers.
Off the grill. Extra mustard, extra mayo. That's how I had it.
Our friend Chris, who said that there wouldn't be a trailer, you said there would be a trailer. He lost the bet. He's supposed to eat at Taco Bell in Australia because they don't have Taco Bell, and he sent me they're all closed. All the Taco Bells are closed. I don't know what we're gonna do. He proved it. He proved it.
How convenient.
But
on a Wednesday.
The thing that I wanna like lay out here is that this is primarily information I gathered last summer, around the time that the show we started doing YouTube. And so what I would get was, today we filmed this. Today we filmed that. Yesterday or 3 days ago we filmed this thing, blah, blah, blah. So I had to take all these pieces and put them together. And whenever I did start to take the puzzle together to people who worked on Kenobi, and I was like, so it's like this. They're like, yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. It's pretty pedestrian. It pretty much just goes like that. So anyway, so there will be little gaps here. If you like spoilers, you have to roll with it. You know what I mean? I haven't seen it. So don't get mad at me because I don't have this one little sliver or whatever. I just got what I got, but what I got is a lot. And I broke it into sort of 4 discussion sections. So I broken it into 4 parts so that we could discuss each part with the amount of attention that it needs. Because I love it personally. I really, really am excited about what I have heard about the ending of Star Wars Kenobi. Gets me super excited for the series. And so if you like spoilers, this will likely be very intriguing to you. Don't be a jerk, if you don't talk about this stuff openly on social media so that somebody who doesn't want to know gets spoiled by it. Talk about it, on this show, in these avenues. Don't talk about it elsewhere.
Instead, talk about the Disney Civil War.
Instead, talk whatever. I don't care what you talk about. I really don't. But
talk about Mr. Potato Head and the green M&M, whatever you talk about. Talk about
But also, if you think that you're going to go spoil people and it somehow makes me feel responsible, I don't. That's you being the asshole. I've come to terms with that over the years. So
they're not holding guns responsible. They're holding Jason responsible.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
And Meg, we love Star Wars, Meg, because I'm a Bobby Jason living in a Bobby world. It's fantastic.
That means something differently in Australia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She made Santa sing Barbie Girl today. She made Santa sing Barbie Girl today. It was hilarious. Throw another shrimp on the Barbie. Yeah. And then I got my Celebration 2 badge signed by Rick McCallum. We had a glass of wine that night. It was what was there? The dude played Piet. It was no joke. I went into this bar randomly. Rick McCallum's in there, the guy who played Piet and the guy who played General Veers, and they're all just fucking chilling. And I was just like, me and my buddy, we just sat there. We had wine with them. It was pretty good. I got it. Piet was nice, but he did go, hey, you want an autograph? I was like, yeah. And I took it. And at the end of the night, he's like, oh, it's $20 for the autograph. And I was like, you son of a bitch. You tricked me. You shook me down, Piet. You shook me down. But it was fine.
I'm making the signature. I'm making Piet.
Rick's was $3.99 though. So I can't complain. It was a great night. And they were nice, super nice dudes. Yeah. So, anyways, so really quickly, let's not, I don't know about quickly, but we'll take our time. But let's kind of like get into a bit of Kenobi, about like how it begins and how we get to the ending a little bit. Let's do a short, I don't know, short, but like I said, like an overview of it. Okay, we'll do our best to get the most of the details in there. And so it's like so from what I have heard, it starts with Order 66. Order 66, Jedi Temple. So we're 10 years before our primary story. We have 2 Jedi escaping. Now, full disclosure, I don't know who the 2 Jedi are, because I'm not completely convinced that the people who, they could just be 2 randos, that it's just examples of the things that were going on. It could be Reva and whoever. It could be Reva, Nari, whoever we talk about later on. It could be any of them. I don't truly know. So I'm just trying to be honest with everybody and not act like I know every little thing. I just know, yeah, Order 66, mate. Leave it alone. I'm like, hey, come on, it's Order 66. I gotta talk about it. And so Order 66 happens. 2 Jedi escape. Then we start 10 years later, 10 years later. And we have Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's got his EOP. And he's from what I understand, the order
That's
of events
close to
here.
a Weird Al lyric right there.
Mm-hmm.
It rhymes.
Well, it's like things can go, things can be like, I haven't seen the episode. I don't know what the edit is, so I'm not exactly sure how things go. But from what I understand, the first episode is like a lot of like Kenobi at first. The first act, I'd say, the first episode is like him in the desert with the EOP. Times are tough. He's like, you kind of see him go to work. He's they're all kind of bullied by like this boss who's just like a piece of shit. They all come back beaten, clean up their stuff. He gets his back on his EOP from Anchorhead or whatever it is, rides back to his cave. He gets back to his cave. From what I understand, something like equivalent of a Jawa steals his shit and then sells it back to him. And so he's continually having to deal with that. So the Jawa this day, I think, might sell him actual legit things, but also the shit that she's stolen. And she steals his stuff, and he buys it back. And she ends up, I guess, convincing him or forcing a sale on him, and it's the T-16 Skyhopper toy. And so he just like looks at it like what the fuck am I going to do with this? Well, he is watching out for a little boy named Luke Skywalker. So Kenobi gets on the EOP, rides out to the Lars homestead, like to the property somewhere, and he leaves it there for Luke to find. Then he goes back home and, goes into the cave. He calls out to Qui-Gon Jinn, gets nothing back. There's just like, he calls out to him, he just nothing. It's crickets. So then he, after that, new day, right? On this day, he's going to Anchorhead to meet with Owen. They have some sort of annual kind of meeting, right? But meanwhile, a young Jedi named Nari, who has been looking for Kenobi for years, like 10 years since Order 66, has finally caught up to Kenobi somehow. I'm not sure if we will ever find out how. You know what I mean? That part, right? That part, I don't know. I don't know how Nari has figured it out. You know what I mean? And I'm going to send Chris Breezy
He leaves a trail of compassion wherever he goes.
Yeah.
Trail of compassion wherever he goes. Like, it's just like, all right, man. Okay.
Yeah. But Nari is looking for Kenobi. He's in the he's out there in the desert, then he's in the town hiding out. And the Inquisitors, the fifth brother, the Grand Inquisitor, and Reva have got my CO Bibble badge on the Only Celebration band from Star Wars Leaks, right? That's funny. As a true got banned. Wow. They're really
It's
cool.
just fostering
Sorry.
a quite the talent over there on Reddit,
Yeah.
aren't they?
But watch as they steal my information secondhand. I mean, just fucking God. It's like that imagined audience in their head. All of the people who they're afraid of don't read their shit either. They're just it's so fucking stupid. Anyways,
I've seen it as a true streams. He's the opposite of threatening and
no, as a true is
disinformation. Like it's
a
so
nice
crazy.
nice
Like
young man.
yeah.
But anyways, back to the story. Um, but Star Wars leaks, get your head out of your ass, seriously. But back to it. Oh, also as a true, great guy, great channel. Star Wars Make, also a great channel. And but before we get back to it, makes us happy Star Wars Day. May the fourth be with you. Thank you, Meg. You too, always. But basically, so this young man, young Jedi, was probably about 15 when Order 66 happens. Just he he's looking for Kenobi. He knows that he's somewhere on Tatooine. So he's in that town looking for him, trying to find any sign of him. And he thinks he spots him, is how I understand this goes down. Thinks he sees Kenobi. It's like, okay, there he is. Kenobi goes on about his he doesn't just run up to Kenobi, it's me, Just like, I'm gonna wait for
It's
Kenobi to
me,
get out.
Anadi.
Yeah. And so Kenobi goes and he meets with Uncle Owen. The scene that we saw in the trailer today goes down where he's like, he's all, don't leave. He tells him not to leave the toys for the boy. Taco Bill is here. Hi, Taco Bill.
How are you, gentlemen?
Great. So we have Nari. He's out there looking for Kenobi. Kenobi's meeting with Owen. They have their conversation where he tells them you can't start training him, any of that stuff. Completely just pushes him down. Just says no. And by this point, Kenobi's feeling pretty defeated again, and he gets on his like EOP and goes to ride back to his routine. As he gets out into the desert a little bit, we have what's his name? We have Kenobi running out to the desert, and then Nari goes to follow him. Meanwhile, the Inquisitors have landed. All three of the Inquisitors have landed. They're actually telling Nari. I believe they followed Nari to Tatooine, and Reva wants to just get him. Like from the very start, she's like, let's just grab him. Let's fucking kill him right now. That line that she's talking about in the trailer, some of that may have even pertained to him. I'm not positive about that though. I haven't got to ask anybody yet. But as time goes on, she wants to kill him. They're in Anchorhead. She, like I said, lots of times she's going around, she's cutting off people's hands, asking about this like Jedi and stuff. And the whole Anchorhead's like, oh shit, like stuff's going down. People are starting to get like a little bit freaked out. Well, Uncle Owen sees this and he's just like, fucking Kenobi, man. You know what I mean? Like, and so he's there when he thinks Kenobi is bringing the heat down. He doesn't really get that it's Nari at first. And for the record, I don't know if Owen ever learns about Nari's outcome. He may not. I don't know. But anyway, so Nari is like, shit, he's skinning out. So goes and follows Kenobi out into the desert. He's like, Kenobi, it's me, Nari. I've been looking for you for 10 years. And he's like, I don't know who Obi-Wan Kenobi is. I don't know who you're talking about. He's like, I'm Ben. Oh, he's like, I know it's you, Obi-Wan. He's like, no, I don't know who you are. I'm Ben Kenobi. He's like, is he? And then finally Kenobi loses patience and is less like, look, the line from the teaser, the war is lost. We lost, blah, 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 blah. Go bury your lightsabers in the sand. It's over. The war is lost. It's over. And Nari's like pretty defeated and he kind of just goes back into Anchorhead and not sure what to do. And so then he goes to like a bar and Kenobi's going home. He goes, yeah, he goes into to Anchorhead's Taco Bell. And
okay.
When he's and then
hold on. Okay, I'm there.
All okay, right. That's when the three Inquisitors catch up to Nari, and he's in the bar, and he's like, "Oh shit, they're here." And so what the Grand Inquisitor does, this is what the lines from the teaser are from. He goes up to the bar and he's like watch. He's like, the Jedi can't help themselves, and he starts accusing the bartender of knowing where Jedi are and stuff like that, forcing Nari to reveal himself. And then
it's like Pizzagate all over again. Yeah.
And then then
you've got him in the basement. I know it. Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah. No, there's no basement in Alamo, bud. No basement in Alamo.
No basements on Tatooine.
Yeah. So they chase Nari down, and then when we see Nari again, from what I understand, he's strung up, and I think we see some of that in the first teaser as well. And I don't know if Owen sees the strung up Nari or not, but when Kenobi gets back to his place, so intercut with this, we have young Princess Leia on Alderaan with her little droid Lola. They're just living their best lives. You know, she's a little bit precocious and all that kind of stuff, and the parents are worried about her. And by the way, something I haven't really talked about too much and anywheres. I believe Leia knows that she's adopted. Like she does know. Like they kind of hit upon that a little bit in the series, that she knows. But it's like there's moments where the Organas are like, yeah, but you're our real daughter. You know what I mean? Like, you're adopted, but you really are daughter. And Leia's like, yeah, you know. So it's a good family. And at one point, Lola, the little droid that we saw in the trailer, is taken from Leia by Bria and put into her pocket. Then Leia, like, you know, I guess something like the equivalent of gives her mom the goodnight hug and takes Lola back. Grabs her back. And then like Lola's with Leia. And so all of this is happening intercut with the Tatooine stuff that we've talked about so far. Okay. I don't know what the edit is, so I just know what they filmed and how it's kind of supposed
Kelly
to go.
Dixon does.
I don't know who that is.
Kelly Dixon knows the edit. That's the editor.
I have no idea. Yeah, so Chris is telling me I can send him a link if I want. I already sent you a link, Chris. God. No. No. So anyways, thank you for the super chat, Junkbox. All those super chats are very, very appreciated today. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for all the support.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think Obi-Wan's disguise is working at the Taco Bells. It's not a good look for Australia, my friend.
Right. So
just putting that one out.
So essentially Leia that night, while you know, they talk about it, but they put her to bed. I think it's like a bedtime thing. These like pirate types all jump in and take Leia, take her away, and kidnap her. And then we hear, I believe there was something shot with the Inquisitors, where they're like, yeah, they're all, you know, the basically saying the job worked, we got her. And we kind of get the impression that the Inquisitors have hired these pirates to kidnap Leia, and they could keep her. They don't even care about Leia. They don't know that Leia is important. The Inquisitors have no idea, but they're like, they have her kidnapped because they know that Bell Organa is up to something, and they think that may kind of fish out what they're after, and it's probably something to do with this Jedi Underground Railroad stuff. Bell Organa has ties to it through Saw Gerrera. So I think they're kind of figuring it out a little bit, and that's why they like take Leia. So when Kenobi gets home, Bell Organa is waiting for him in the cave, and he's like, "They've taken Leia. I need you to go and save her." And there's this contact on Jabim, and that's Kumail Nanjiani's character. And we need you to go find. We need you to meet him, and then he's gonna tell you where to go. And he's like, but I'm supposed to be, you know, guarding the boy. And then he's like, well, and so Kenobi views, you know, Kenobi knows that both of them, either of them could be the next Jedi, if you will. You know what I mean? But I think that like Leia and her connections where she's at, just like sees it as Luke is his, you know, his main. And for the record, people get really weird about like, why does Kenobi have to stay with? Why is it Kenobi with Luke the whole time? Why the fuck isn't Luke Kenobi with Leia the whole time? If you think about this stuff for a second, none of it really makes that much sense because it wasn't made that way. But there's no Jedi with Leia every 5 minutes either. So when Kenobi leaves for fucking 2 days, big fucking deal. Leia hasn't had a Jedi with her the whole time. You know what I mean? It's just throwing it out there. That's just my perspective.
But really, it's because his sister was never supposed to be Leia. So.
Yeah,
and they just gotta fix it. That's it.
Exactly.
That's it. Just deal with it, folks.
Well, and if they were really going that way, they could have put a Jedi who was there the whole time with her, and then he died.
Yeah, I guess canonically you could go, well, where's he supposed to hide on Alderaan? The political fucking no. You know, like was he supposed to hide in the castle and keep an eye on her? Safe from what? Luxury and
right.
But Super Nintendos and shit.
As Star Wars fans, we will just accept she's hidden in plain sight. At the end of the day, that's what the story is now, right? Leia was hidden in plain sight. Like, it's so bold, no one would even think that she's the other one, if they even figure it out at all. Or do they? So anyways, yeah, so he tells him he has to go, and this is like the gist of and then Owen finds the T-16 Skyhopper, puts that shit away. Like, what the, you know what I mean? And Luke can't have this. You know what I mean? He doesn't want him having anything from Kenobi. He thinks Kenobi's dog shit. No. And so then we get our Kenobis now boarding a ship to go to Daiyu to save Leia. And that makes a disturbance in the Force. Then we cut to the eye of Darth Vader opening up, and we just see the eye. Boom. And then that's the end of chapter 1. That's the gist of what I know. I might have left something out from the reports I've done, but you can go back and read all that stuff if you want.
The dance off between Reva and Kenobi.
Yeah. And then we get to chapter 2. And in chapter 2, we have Kenobi on Daiyu. He meets Kamal Nanjiani and O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s characters. O'Shea's a partisan, and apparently so is Nanjiani. Nanjiani seems seedy, though. That's what I was told. He seems like he's a real piece of shit. Like, he seems like a scallywag, you know? And so he directs him to where Leia's at, and Leia's being held in a spice den. And we saw a little bit of that hallway fight in the trailer today that I've talked about, and where he fights that Zabrak. So Kenobi has a gun, a blaster, sneaks in there, just beats the shit out of everyone. Snake does some solid Snake. Does a little bit of what's his name? You know, when they stole Ted's dog in that movie, and Ted has to fuck everybody up. From Bill and Ted. What was that movie called?
I like when John Wick. I like it when someone called him Bill at an interview, and he's like, "I'm Ted." He's like,
oh,
one of those press interviews.
Yeah. So he goes John Wick style in there, fucks everybody up, you know, and then goes over, saves Leia, and Leia, from what I understand, her like, she like looks at Kenobi, who's been living on a cave floor and has just gone through a fight, and she has some choice words like, "This is what they sent," which is kind of a callback to A New Hope, like, you know what I mean, when she meets Luke and Han. So it's kind of a little bit of a Star Wars trope, if you will, I think, going on.
She's been judgmental her whole life.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
She's racist against Wookiees, we know that much. Yeah. So hold them a walking carpet.
They're walking carpets.
Yeah.
It's not a race.
But so then basically ends up saving Leia, and then big action sequence. They end up like in this big rooftop fight and stuff. And during all of that stuff, at one point, Leia loses Lola, the little droid. And I think Lola is the name of the droid, but it could be a code. I'm just always cognizant of that. that possibility.
Lola. It checks out.
Lola. Yeah, it does. And she's so Lola, yeah. Lola and I've kind of heard this different ways. It sounds like either Lola, I think might get something like inserted, like a chip put in her, like a restraining bolt kind of thing or something like that. And then that's how they track Leia, or Reva just holds Lola over, but basically the Inquisitors show up on Daiyu now because they know that the stuff with Leia is going down, because they knew that somebody was going to come to save Leia, and they wanted to capture that person because it's a very good chance it could be a Jedi. So that's why the Inquisitors are on Daiyu in the second episode so quickly. So once shit starts going down, they start going through the city looking for the Jedi, and they figure out that it's Kenobi, and they're like, okay, we got to get him. So then that's when the whole galaxy goes on high alert against Kenobi now at that point. And
trying to figure out though why they would think a Jedi would come save her. If she's the daughter of a political dude, why wouldn't he just send?
They assume Bell Organa has ties to the Jedi. They think he's connected to this like underground railroad kind of stuff. They know Bell Organa is up to rebellion, but they can't prove it, and he's very powerful in the Senate, so they can't just go kill him. If they were to go kill him, he would become a political martyr. So they need solid dirt, and for whatever reason, we just have to go with this to an extent. They don't just frame him. They need real like solid dirt on Bell for some reason and I don't think they've ever come up with what that reason is yet. You know what I mean? In Star Wars, but they do need to, because we're starting to think about it more. Like, we see people just put into cells and stuff taken away in Star Wars by the space Gestapo all the time. Why not Bell? What's so fucking special about him? And so there's, and we know he was powerful in the Republic Senate. We know he was a big deal, one of like the main voices in the galaxy. So I think it might be like putting somebody's favorite politician away. They really need like good stuff on him. So that's what they're trying to do, is what it sounds like. They know that. I think at this point though, 10 years, they know that he's up to funny business. So anyway, so I don't know if they explicitly
no more funny business, Lebowski.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they know that like they may not know a Jedi is going to go after Leia. They may just be hoping for as much, But once again, those little subtleties, gonna have to probably get that from the series when it comes out. You know what I mean? Like I really just can't, just from asking people who worked on it, I just can't get those little pieces. And Joel points out that the Senate's very important until the Death Star is complete. And that's true. Like they even said, like the Imperial Senate, how we keep the regional governors will keep things in line, all that kind of shit. So the Empire's still on the up and up to some extent. They just can't go do whatever they want all the time. But Bell Organa's up to shit is my point. So but they haven't got him yet.
They know he's responsible for the Taco Bell's invasion.
Yeah, I mean they do blow up his whole planet eventually.
Look at that mascot. Yeah. Like, look at that.
Wow. Is that a real Taco Bell from Australia?
Yeah, it's Taco Bell. Yeah.
It's all authentic.
I was sleeping today and I got like a notification because I got Kenobi notifications on my phone. I'm like, it woke me up and I saw the tweet and it's like, new trailer coming today. I was like, fuck no!
No!
All I saw in my exactly that. All I saw in my head was just Rob's head just smiling at me. I was like, fuck.
So Kenobi, he now has Leia in hand. He's taken her, he's defeated the space pirates in the spice den. I told you guys about a moment where he throws the spice in their face, gets them all high, and then is able to escape at one point. I don't know if that's the escape move, but that definitely happens during the fight at one point. It might just be a thing that
does Leia do the spin?
I think that's when Leia gets her first taste of it.
She does the little spin.
Well, she does the spice and then does the spin, starts spinning around. Made her to Carrie Fisher, man.
Giant pixie stick at the fair.
Yeah.
You just got all that energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This little bastard. She jumps around like Yoda.
Fucking, she actually goes and pawns Lola to get more right away, like first day. So, anyways,
I need some McCollum sticks. I just can't help myself.
I'm under the impression that they then meet back up with Don Gianni, and he's like, "You guys have done it now. You guys set off the shitstorm." He's like, "We need to get out of here." That's when they're introduced to O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character. Do you recall his name?
Yeah, you've said it before.
Yeah,
Reckon,
do you recall?
Reckon?
Right, Roken.
Roken, yeah, that's
Roken.
Even a Roken record. Yeah. So Roken, and Roken's like, yeah, I could get you guys, I could get her home to Alderaan, but I have a stop first. And I believe that stop is to another world where they are going to ambush an Imperial like regiment. I don't know what you call it, but they're going to save Indira Varma's character, who's a high profile or some kind of officer in the Empire, and she's defected. She wants to go into the witness protection program, the relocation program, if you will. And this is what Bail Organa has been a part of, and what Saw Gerrera and his partisans are primarily the ones on the ground heading it. Remember, the Rebel Alliance is barely like formed up at this point. There's a bunch of disparate rebel groups that will become an alliance, and in Rogue One, that's when they actually become a true like army. So at this point, we just have all these different little groups of resistance, little pockets of resistance. And so they go and they like save her, you know, and her and Kenobi have scenes together that are like more of some of the emotional weight of things, you know what I mean? And she may have there may be more significance to her than I know about, like her character. There may be a lot more to that. I know she's important. She has significant screen time, significant presence and stuff. But yeah, they end up eventually, though, as they're getting away, they eventually are caught up to at some point on their big ship by Darth Vader and the Inquisitors, and Leia is handed over to them, and but at some point they use that little droid. Reva uses that little droid to lure Leia away, and then Reva takes Leia. And Reva takes Leia back to a Nur. So they're not going to Alderaan now. And but they know that she's going to go to the fortress on Nur. So that's when our merry band of rebels have to start to sneak on to Nur. I don't know the details about how they get there. I don't know how they make it happen, but they do go to that Inquisitor fortress. So this is like the third, or this is around the like fourth episode's content that we start to get into. I think the third episode might primarily be about Indira Varma's stuff, like saving her and stuff, and Leia getting captured. Fourth chapter is all Nur all the time. And that's like basically like the big midpoint, I guess, of the story is Obi-Wan Kenobi and our team saving Leia, and Leia is being interrogated by Reva really hard, and that's when we're going to start, I think, to get into some of the stuff for the end today, because Reva begins to put together that Leia is adopted. Leia is not the biological child of Bail Organa. That's just, it's like, well, that's weird. Why are they pretending? You know what I mean? Why are they pretending she's, adopted and stuff like that? So she starts to like, and I think she might do some of that Kylo Ren mind probing kind of stuff on her, or maybe she uses that one probe that Leia resists. Because remember in A New Hope, Leia resists the mind probe. She's fucking been dealing with that since she was 10. It's nothing to her. Yeah. You got to get a Borg Gullet. You have to get a Borg Gullet up in this bitch if you want to deal with that.
Borg Gullet.
Yeah. And but anyways, so she starts to figure out stuff. And one of the things to remember is that Reva is in competition with the fifth brother. The Grand Inquisitor has pitted them against one another the whole time. They are competitors. And so when she gets information, she's not necessarily taking that information back to the headquarters. Hey, everyone, I'm making Star Wars. Here's what I heard. She's not doing that. She's keeping it to herself.
Yeah,
she's not doing a
like
live
Adam
stream.
Sandler and shit, right?
You're watching the nerd stream. Not doing any
Comes
of
in
that.
like Pauly Shore. Nerd, buddy.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Revenge of the nerds. So anyways, she goes and so anyways, they do the attack on the base basically. I don't know how big it is. I don't know how sneaky it is. Little Inquisitor fighting going on, fight some stormtroopers, that kind of jazz. And they do get Leia and Lola back, is the point. But at good cost, because Roken and Leia kind of go ahead, go to make the escape, and Kenobi's holding off Darth Vader. And Kenobi is not prepared to fight Darth Vader when this happens. It's Darth Vader's way, way more powerful. This isn't Darth Maul. Like it's something that he hasn't seen before, even though he fought Anakin, from what I understand. Darth Vader is way more than Anakin Skywalker, because he's really into the evil now. He's had 10 years to really get mad about that burnt off dick. You know what I mean? And he's extra angry at Kenobi for burning off his dick. So it probably makes it even better. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So then anyways, what happens is they fight, and somehow in that fight, Kenobi is badly burned.
Very badly burned.
I've heard it two different ways. I've heard like he gets burns like pretty bad, but obviously he doesn't get his hair burned off or anything like that. But I've also heard it was like just basically his arm is really burned. But he's Roken and Leia apparently somehow go back for him or something like that, and are able to snatch him away, and they put him in one of those like coffins, like they put Anakin in to keep Anakin when he was burned on Mustafar. They have something like that on the big ship, and they there's like a stasis chamber. They put him on there. That's when they have to take him to Jabim. So in our 5th episode, we start with Kenobi on Jabim, and they take him. There's this secret colony of force users, of force sensitives, and probably people like Indara Varma, probably both. There's probably a big mixture of all of these different people that are hidden there. And from what I understand, they're hidden on like an old Clone Wars base, and they're using Clone Wars weaponry a lot. And but when we get there, that's when we see Nanjiani's characters there, and it's like,
Jedi?
Looks like he was a Jedi in that trailer. But I'm gonna get to that in a second, because I one thing that I've heard is basically, so the Force sensitives, they end up healing Kenobi. They like Leia's there, and at one time I heard that Leia healed him, but it was like that just doesn't make sense. I think she's just there. But the Force sensitives apparently put their hands on Kenobi, like do that whole thing, and they are able to heal him, and then he's okay. He's like kind of revived or whatever, and but he's feeling good though, because he sees what's going on around him. He's seeing like these pockets of resistance are everywhere. Leia's a badass. You know what I mean? Like he starts to feel like even if he died, it's still gonna work out, because new people that are coming up every day are resisting the Empire. He felt like he was the only one for a long time, and that's all he saw. He was the only one he knew of who was doing it for the most part, So he starts to feel good, but he starts to this is where we have our Clone Wars flashback though. He starts thinking about like he knows that to get out of there, Darth Vader is going to be there soon, and he has to think about how is he going to defeat Darth Vader. So he starts thinking back to Anakin's training, about when they were here during the Clone Wars and stuff like that. And then, but we flash back to Anakin and Obi-Wan in a dojo, like a Jedi dojo training scenario. and they're friends. That's right after Attack of the Clones. Is before Revenge of the Sith, you know. And so I'm guessing he's probably married, but secretly probably hasn't made a baby yet. And right, or two, and they're like fighting, and they're like are like just like trash talking each other. Like, you know, the problem with you is you do this when I do this, and you know the problem with you. They're like just, and it's like it's cute, but in there is the crucial data for how Anakin Skywalker understands sword fighting, lightsaber fighting. And then he starts to like kind of figure out how he's going to fight this guy. And so, but then everyone's like, okay, like you guys have to get, you know, Leia out of here. And so we're going to hold them off. And so Roken goes, I believe Roken gets Leia.
Jason.
Yeah.
The trick, hold on, that Obi-Wan figures out is every time Vader is about to make a killing move, he listens to an Oreo cookie. Right? Like, and that's how Obi-Wan knows he's going for.
That's not canon. That's not canon.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
want to
so
bet?
I think so this is open for debate. They either know the Empire is coming and it's only a matter of time. We got to get the show on the road, or they don't know and it's a surprise. I'm not sure how it was shot in the end. That I'm not completely positive about. I've seen evidence for both. I think they may know it's very likely and they're not sure it's going to happen, and then it does. That seems to be probably what happens. But yeah. So anyways, there's all these Force sensitives that are there, and they're being, you know, so here's one thing I've only heard from one single source, and they weren't part of the production the whole entire time. So their perspective on things was often slightly wild, I would say. But always on. There was always truth to it. But it was always like open to this person's interpretation, not knowing anything but these days of filming. So they thought Nanjiani's character was a sabersmith. And they just knew that he handled a bunch of kyber crystals and starts like passing around a bunch of lightsabers. So I have a feeling that as the Inquisitors, so when I put together, and I know that there's an Inquisitor fight. I know that the Inquisitors land with the Purge Troopers and all the Stormtroopers and Darth Vader, and they start mowing down these people. They get Leia the fuck out of there, and I believe she's headed back to Alderaan in the 5th episode. Home safe. And then Kenobi has to get Darth Vader to follow him to, I believe, see, this is where it gets a little weird too. I was told it's a moon of Mustafar. Nur is also a moon of Mustafar. So maybe it's another planet where they have their big fight, you know? And when you see that leaked footage, it looks like it's like very moon-like, not like a space, you know what I mean? It has like a different kind of thing to it. So, but Nur seems to be mostly an ocean world, and they are, so anyways, so it's a little bit confusing. It just is what it is. Like I said, when you're getting these pieces, you got to roll with it a little bit. So, so to the best of my knowledge, Leia says goodbye to Ben Kenobi and is now kind of going home. And then Obi-Wan has to fight Darth Vader, but Reva is starting to figure out a couple of things. And so we have our big duel starting now. And now I am going to post the new article right now. I'm hitting publish right now. And then I will share, we will share the newest article about part 1.
World exclusive.
Ooh, fancy. Okay, let me share my article here with you about part 1. Wait, oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry about that. That was the wrong one. Hold on. Sorry, guys. It's kind of hard to get a lot of stuff going at the same time today. With that trailer dropping when it did, was not expecting that. So, here we go.
I know.
you know, you Taco Bill eating
He's never
cinnamon
gonna let
rolls.
this go. He's never gonna let it go.
So yeah.
No.
So as Obi-Wan and Darth Vader clash in their final battle of the decade, Kenobi carries a secret knowledge that raises the stakes of their conflict. What are the stakes of this fight? Obi-Wan Kenobi, an honorable knight, will give up his life to truth, justice, and the Jedi way. The fight is not about a broken man who has seemingly found himself surviving against the Darth Lord of the Sith. This is about giving us a rematch. This is not about giving us a rematch to appease a crowd, not in terms of the story or in terms of that anyhow. This is about the future of the galaxy itself. Sometime in Chapter 6, as Kenobi attempts to vanquish Darth Vader, Reva the Inquisitor has become very inquisitive. In the first chapter, Reva senses Kenobi was on Tatooine. The Grand Inquisitor minimized her feelings and dismissed her as his subordinate. But she's ever the smart cookie, and Reva knows this detail is important, if not crucial to something more. Reva must ask herself, why would Kenobi be on Tatooine unless he was protecting something? At some point, probably during the Anchorhead sequences in the first chapter, scenes were filmed that have the trio of Inquisitors discuss how Anakin Skywalker, from their perspective, broke the dogmatic teachings of the Jedi and became something more. By the final chapter, Reva has put the contextual clues together, and she figures out that Obi-Wan Kenobi has been protecting someone, the son of Skywalker. It is important to remember there is more to Reva figuring out this puzzle than I know. But that right there is what we have going on against the final battle. So while Kenobi is fighting Darth Vader, he knows Reva is going after Luke Skywalker. Not good. He's got to fight Darth Vader, or they're going to get Leia. Going to kill Leia. And Reva's put it together. So it stands to reason that Reva has put together that Leia is also the daughter of Darth Vader. So that's a pretty big development in terms of the story right there. Because now,
no,
yeah,
this is impossible. It's not true.
Right?
I'm just doing the reactions from all the incels right now. Hold on.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Right?
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So Leia, Leia is being taken away, and but Reva solved the puzzle, the one that Palpatine and Darth Vader haven't put together yet. Remember, Darth Vader doesn't know his kids are alive. He has no clue right now. And so the big questions that I have right now from this are, what are Reva's plans? Like, what does Reva plan to do with this information? Does Reva plan to go and kill Luke? Does Reva plan to turn Luke into an Inquisitor? Does Reva plan to take Luke to Palpatine to be like, hey, buddy, look what I got you, your new baby boy? You know what I mean? And so it's not really clear what Reva's aims are. And I'm kind of curious if the show will tell us. Do you guys think it would tell us? Do you think we would know what her plans are with it, or do you think? Because I mean, that's kind of the big question that I have at the moment.
I think by the end of episode 6, we will know her plans. If they turn out to happen or not, that's a different story. But I think we're definitely going to know her intention with all her knowledge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, because
like I said, if the opening of that series with the temple is Reva and not Nari, right? Then there's a duality in the story there. There's it has to be the I see myself, I can save someone from becoming me story arc, that's the, or I can torture someone into becoming me in the way that Vader wants to torture Luke into becoming another Anakin. That's a possibility too.
Either way, that kid is worth some serious imperial clout. Either way you cut it.
Or
right?
she's just like, I win.
Mm-hmm.
King of the Inquisitors. I don't know what they win. They win the Burger King crown.
What was Darth Maul's plan? Darth Maul's plan was to capture Luke Skywalker and raise him as an apprentice and and kill the Sith and become the new Sith. Also, like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of angles that Reva can take, and that's kind of the important thing here is what is the angle, and because like on one hand, like I said, she could basically kill Luke if she gets there. She could take him to the Emperor, take him to Darth Vader. She could keep him for herself. And so all of those potentialities are pretty big, I think. You know what I mean? For her and her character. And I like I said, I have to think that she starts to put a lot of the context clues together just from what she knows of the true history, of Anakin and stuff like that. And then also when she interrogates Leia, and why is Kenobi putting the fate of the Jedi on the line for Leia? Like that's also very telling. If you're trying to solve what are people's motivations here, because I mean, let's just pretend Leia was just some kid. Sure, it's going to be important to Kenobi, but is it this important? Is it like why not just give her to somebody? Like why does he feel like he has to do it personally? Why does, you know what I mean? There's so much things that just don't click. If you're Reva trying to solve it, but Reva does solve it, and so she's a good Inquisitor. And really quickly, just because I tend to see the worst in humanity, I know that there's a lot of people that are going to be like, Mary Sue, blah, 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 this and that, dot, 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 about her solving it. It's her fucking job. She's literally a bounty hunter, inspector, investigator.
Meanwhile, at Max Landis's pad.
Yeah. but it's like that is her gig. This is what she does. If you think the Inquisitors are all dumb or this isn't what they do, it's because they haven't been written well enough or you haven't been paying attention, however you want to look at it. You know what I mean? But this is their job. They are investigators. They are inquisitors, inquisitive, to figure out.
Inquisitive minds want to know.
Yeah. So I hope that doesn't happen. I hope it doesn't go that way with it. But it's going to get dark. It's going to get dark. So I think we're going to stop this part 1 here. We're going to take a short break, and I will get the second episode lined up, and I will queue up the next show for part 2, and we will be back.
Are you not entertained?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We're going to take a short break. We'll have a new episode, obviously, so you'll need to join. Don't wait on this one. This link will not be coming back, but we will be back very shortly to talk about what happens next. So this is Making Star Wars Celebration, you guys. What'd you expect? It was going to be a big deal. And if you don't like it,
get the fuck out of my house.
All right. We'll see you guys in a few.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go.